everyone to another exciting edition of McBridgeConsult Chat on humans of Lagos, Nigeria, job professionals and non-for-profit. And today is going to be another exciting time with our guest. Today, I've known her for quite a number of years, and she will be sharing her experience in the non-for-profit, her role, and why it's important. So let's get to meet her.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope it's afternoon where you are, but if it's not, good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you are. My name is Nwamaka Ifionu. For the most part, people call me Amaka simply. I work in the development sector, as has been said. I work as the Deputy Director for Program Operations with Save the Children International in Nigeria. I have been with Save the Children for a few years now, some 7 years thereabout, but I have been in the operation role for fewer than that. So, yeah.
Okay. So, would you like to tell us, why did you start on this journey? Why non-for-profit? Briefly. Okay.
I will say that my journey in the nonprofit sector perhaps started a long time ago, some 15, 16 years ago, so to speak, when I was still in school. And it was probably founded on just the interest to serve humanity, if you will. I wanted to be able to give back to society, and I wanted whatever I chose as a career path to be followed on giving back to humanity, serving humanity and giving back to society. And so back when I was in school, I would volunteer with nonprofit organizations like Habitat for Humanity and the like. But in terms of a career path and making the decision to work in the sector, that probably dates back to about 2011 or so, where I formally started a career in the nonprofit sector as a program assistant. And I've remained in the sector since then. So both in depth and in breadth, in terms of why I have chosen to remain in the sector. But at its core, or at its fundamental, it still remains serving humanity, influencing human behavior, and just inspiring change and all of the layers in between that. So, yeah.
Wow, inspiring change. You've said a number of very important things. And you started from a journey, and now you are the operations person in your organization. So tell us, why is it important to have that role in your organization? Can the organization work without it, or it's a key role?
Perhaps, as I stated at the beginning, I wasn't always in core program operations. So my role is a program operations role. Now, operations management, as it were, is a bit of a broad term, if you will, and it exists in a number of different industries, whether in the for-profit sector or in the non-profit sector. So when I think of what I do from a program operations standpoint, I like to think of it in twofold. One is people management, and the other is systems management or processes management, if you will. So whether that is managing the logistics and the supply chain, or managing the field offices and all of the elements that go into that, and the structure of program implementation to ensure that we are delivering the most effective programs for children and or the beneficiaries that we serve. But in my sector and in the organization that I work for, it is the engine room. It is the focus of our delivery, overall delivery for the beneficiaries that we work for and that we work with. So, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Now I see you said quite a number of things, and I seem to be interested in starting a career in that role. So what advice would you give to me, per se, if I want to pick up a career in that line?
if I were to think of how I made this transition, I would probably pin it on knowing the system around you and being a full part of that system, right? So even in my days as a program staff and a core program implementation staff, I wanted to understand the system around me beyond the thing that I was tasked with doing, beyond my core responsibility. I wanted to understand how logistics worked and how finance worked and how all the other units that supported my delivery of my own program worked. And for me, that was important, not just to being able to deliver on my program, but to enabling those systems to work in a way that facilitated my delivery. But I think I also got a thrill from just understanding the larger system around me. And so I would often say to people, don't just be bogged down by the task that you have been employed to do. Don't just come here and job away, understand the breadth of the system that you are in, the scope of the system that you are in, and how that system operates on a day-to-day, all of the facets of that system, because it would make you a richer employee, it will make you a more effective employee. It will also help you think about how you can continue to add value to that system, irrespective of the role that you have been recruited for. So I say all of that to say, one, don't be afraid to stretch yourself and stretch your abilities. I think that the higher you climb in management, it becomes sometimes less of the technical know-how and more of the people know-how. There are a number of courses that you can find online, Coursera, any of the search engines, and even degree programs. I know the University of Washington offers degree programs related to management in the nonprofit sector, operations management in the non-for-profit sector, and a host of other institutions as well. So in terms of a degree path, there are courses out there, there are programs out there that can skill you or resource you in this area, if you will.
Thank you so much, Amaka. You've actually taken my questions from your response from one step to the other, and I'm very grateful because you've talked about how one can transition within and also outside, and also you've talked about trainings that one can also take on a career. And because this platform is about showing the outside world how they can get into career in the non-for-profit. Sometimes you want to transition from profit making to non-for-profit and you don't know how. So that's why this platform was created. So for us to round up for today, it's been a wonderful time with you. Just last words to the audience so we can wrap up for today.
Okay. I like to say that people should generally, one, learn to think of and articulate the value that they bring to whatever setting you find yourself in, right? Whether you're in the for-profit sector, you're in the non-profit sector, articulate the value that you bring. Think of the value that you bring to the table, and then think of where you want to go to, where you want to get to, and what is required to get you there. Whether that is working with people who you see have already gotten to where you want to go to, understudying them, shadowing them, being mentored by them. Never, ever, ever be afraid of learning and afraid of stretching yourself into new territories, into new areas of agility, so to speak. And I feel like when you do that, you will be a better rounded human, and you will be the type of person who I like to describe as an agile leader, right? An agile leader is self-aware. You know your strengths and your weaknesses, and you're constantly looking to develop on them, but you're also results agile, right? So people can trust that you will deliver results in everything and at every time. Never be afraid to stretch your abilities. Never be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone. And do not forsake small learning opportunities, even if they come in the form of volunteering or pro bono work, because you're always growing, you're always learning, and no knowledge is really lost.
Wow, that's a whole lot. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode, and we hope to have you back once again when we call. Thank you everyone for joining us, and same time next week. See you. Bye.